Excellent stuff. Guys and gals, good evening, good morning, good night. Hopefully there's a few people around this evening. It's late-ish, but I thought I'd hop on here and try and get through a few of your questions. If we can do that. The most common question that I get asked, well, I suppose I'll do my intro while people are hopping on the live, and then we'll get into that. I just had to pop on for a few minutes. So welcome to the channel. It's Bitcoin With Dinny. We are being Ireland's first Bitcoin consulting company, and we help people to retire early by building pension plans which are based on the world's highest performing asset, which has been Bitcoin for the last 14 years, despite what you hear in mainstream media. If you understand it, you can use it to your advantage, and you can actually retire yourself early, because everything you hear in the mainstream is not true about Bitcoin. However, if you read a heap of books on it, you do a lot of courses, and you study, and you spend years on the thing, you realise that it's very simple. But a lot of people, unfortunately, get sucked down the rabbit hole of wanting easy money, fast money. They don't do the work, so they don't get the result. But that's what we do. To new people, I'll say ignore the scammers in the comments. They'll be impersonating me. If you follow me on any social medias, you'll probably get messages from me, but that's not me. I will respond to a message you send to me, but I will never reach out and message you with a cold message. So just be aware. A lot of people lose money every day. I'm dealing with people who've lost thousands, tens of thousands, and sometimes hundreds of thousands through scams and just lack of education, and it's terrible. But there's nothing you can do when you get scammed through crypto. There's no recourse, and that's why education is critical, and that's why you've got to know what you're doing if you're going to be in this market. Now, if there's anyone on Instagram has got any questions, because normally we don't do too many Instagram questions, throw it in there. I'd love to get a few of the Instagrammer questions out. I'm doing a little Q&A. So anything Bitcoin related or crypto related that you'd like to ask me, shoot it in the comments there, and I'll do my best to try and answer them all. The first question that I get all the time is, Dinny, just give me one coin that no one's heard of that I should buy. And I'll give you the answer to this question, but it's not popular. The reason why this channel will never compete with the channels that focus on the pump and dumps and the get rich quicks, and they'll shill you all this junk, and you'll get lots of traction, is because you'll promise people easy money, and that's the best way to get fans, is to promise people easy money. But it doesn't work, okay? You guys know my story. I went from broke, living in a caravan, to, financially free, work out of choice, and it's a thing called proof of work. It just takes work. There was no easy way. I tried the easy ways. I tried to get rich quicks, and none of them worked, and they all just punished me. So what I say to people who are looking for the next crypto that's going to get them rich, your mindset is flawed. That even if you happen to be the 0.1% and you find that next crypto that makes you some money, you'll ride it all the way up and you'll ride it all the way down, because your mindset's flawed. You don't understand how to invest. You don't understand how to manage risk. You don't understand how to manage money. You don't understand the mindset that's required for any of this stuff, because mindset's the only difference. When I lived in a caravan, I had no money and I worked really hard. It wasn't that I didn't work, guys. It was just my mindset. It was when I changed my mindset, I was actually able to change my money set, I suppose. Money just came to me a lot easier, because my mindset was just totally wrong, and that took education. I didn't just magically change it. It took education. So I'll tell you what the next altcoin you should figure out is. You should read a book on Bitcoin, okay? Read 2, read 10, and then you'll be able to answer the question, okay? I'm not saying you shouldn't buy crypto. I own loads of cryptos, okay? But I understand what they are, why I own them, what percentage I own them, where I exit them, where I enter them. Normal people haven't a clue. They just want to buy something that goes up and they get rich. It doesn't work like that. That mindset will punish you. However, there is one hard and fast rule that I give all our followers. Over a 4-year period, every single human on the planet, even if you're the dumbest of the dumb, every human on the planet who's bought Bitcoin and held it for 4 years or more is richer than when they started. There's no other crypto that has that rule to save you, okay? So that's why, if the dumbest of the dumb are here, we can just encourage you to study Bitcoin. Daniel's asking, should you keep DCA in 100 a week? Is it enough? Daniel Ryan. What I would say to that is, okay, fortune favours the brave. It takes big investments to get big returns, okay? If every week when all your bills are paid and you're saving 100 quid and you're putting that into Bitcoin, well, that's you. You're stretched to the max. That's all you can do. But if when all your bills are paid, you've a grand and you're only putting 100 quid into Bitcoin, you know, if that was me, I'd be allocating a little bit more. And I suppose I can't give financial advice. I just say what I would do. And depending on your age, you know, if you're in your 20s, Greg Foss, who managed money for 35 years, he was on my podcast, Canadian bond trader, managed hundreds of millions for 35 years. You know, knows a thing or two about risk, managing risk, leveraging money. Okay, Greg reckons someone in their 20s should be 100% exposed to Bitcoin because Greg understands that you guys are screwed, and people in their 30s. Anyone who doesn't own property, okay, because we have asset inflation, you're screwed. You have no, like, literally, there's nothing else you can do. Even if you're a brain surgeon, it's still going to be really, really hard. You have to marry one as well, and between the two of you, and then have some kids and get them to be brain surgeons, and then you might be okay. Okay, so if you're in your 20s, be a brain surgeon and marry a brain surgeon, or be a banker. You know, they get all the money. Be a banker. Okay, so that's why Greg reckons someone young should be much heavier allocated. And why? Well, if you're in your 20s and you make a bad investment, it doesn't really matter. Okay, it doesn't hurt you. You've decades of your life to recover. However, if you're in your 20s and you don't start to accumulate assets, and Bitcoin being the apex asset of the 21st century, and you get left behind, and you're trying to buy all the traditional assets which are hyperinflated now, so you're getting crappy wages and you're trying to come into a world of assets that are all hyperinflating. Because when we talk about inflation, I was going a little tangent here for a second, and I know I go on roundabout rants. Daniel's going up the ante, fair play. But I'll finish the point. If you're what even was the point now? I've forgotten because I read the message and I've got messages popping up so on my phone here. What are we talking about? Okay, forget that. Daniel's going to buy. If someone can remind me in the comments, I'll go back on that point because that was a good point, but I'm not forgetting what it was because I have 3 phones in front of me and they're all buzzing with messages and I'm half reading them and trying to keep talk. And guess what I'm talking about? I've nothing written down. I haven't prepared anything. So that's me. Yeah, if I could afford more, I would. If I was younger. Oh yeah, I remember my point now. It always comes back to me eventually, so I'm going to speak about it now. We have 2 inflations, okay? And most people don't know about either one of them. Most retail people, they don't know about either inflation, so they're just screwed. And that's why they invest into pensions and they buy other stupid things, or they dream about becoming a property investor, and they don't realise how difficult it is, and especially how difficult it's going to become in the future. Okay? So they don't know of any inflation. Then there's smart people who know about consumer inflation. Okay, now consumer inflation is the fact that when you go out to buy anything today or tomorrow, it costs you much more money. So your money got chopped in half 3 years ago. Over the last 3 years, your money got chopped in half because the price of everything doubled. Okay, and that's consumer inflation. So, you know, the price of eggs went up, the price of steak went up. You go to a restaurant now to buy a steak, you know, they used to be 20 quid, you know, now you're paying a hell of a lot more. They used to be 15 quid, now you're paying more. Okay, so the price of everything just went up. That's consumer inflation. And where that inflation figure comes from. So, you know, when you hear in the news, inflation is 6%, inflation is 4%, inflation is coming down. Just because inflation is coming down, that's not a good thing because it's still compounding. It's just at the level it was, it's reducing from there. But you can create any inflation figure you want because the way a government gets that figure is they get a basket of goods. Okay, and they're like, oh, people need to eat some food, so we put some food in, and then they need these things, so we put these things in the basket. And we go, well, how much has the stuff in the basket gone up this month? And you get your figure, okay? But for the last 30 years, they keep changing the basket and what they put in the basket. Why? To manipulate the figure. So poor people can't figure out how much they're being shafted and why life's so difficult and why they work till they're nearly dead. In an age where technology has made everything cheaper, faster and easier, and yet we're working harder than ever. It's just like, if you could get a breath, if you weren't so busy in the rat race to sit back and actually think about it for a second, you scratch your head and go, something's not right here. Something's not right. Like, look at all the machines I have to do the work. My granddad never had any of this stuff. He only worked one job and he was able to buy 3 houses. I'm working my ass off with all this technology. I have more technology in my phone than was in the space station. Okay, I have more technology in my toaster than it was in the space station. And still I'm working so hard. So, We can manipulate the basket to make inflation be any figure you want, and how they do that is you just reduce the quality of what's in the basket. And you'll notice that if you're buying things, you'll notice that the quality of them only goes down, in that the taste of them becomes worse. Okay, how we get inflation lower is, we take out something like a burger from a cow and we replace it with a lab-grown burger, because that's cheaper to manufacture, it's easier, you can put junk into it, it's cheaper, and we can say, okay, they're the same things, a burger's a burger, humans are eating burgers, so inflation is going down. But it's called a rug pull, okay? People are being fooled, and they don't really know it. You've got to be paying attention to notice. But you're just being squeezed, you're just like, life's getting harder, okay? But there's another type of inflation, and this is what only really smart people pay attention to, okay? Rich people pay attention to this, normal people don't, they don't have a clue what's happening, okay? We've asset inflation. And asset inflation, I wouldn't say it's our assets hyperinflating, well, Bitcoin's hyperinflating, but assets are running away from people, okay? Big time. And that's why I say if you're in your 20s, because the cost of, what is an asset? An asset is something that a rich person wants to own, okay? Rich people own good things, they don't own shit things. Okay, so an asset is something that either goes up in value, capital appreciation, okay, or it might have a yield or a cash flow on it. Okay, those things are hyperinflating, meaning they're going up a lot. Meaning, if you don't own any of them, you're screwed. It's really difficult for you, because the only way to get rich is to own the assets. People who have the money have the assets. That's how it works. They don't have money. Money is the worst asset. We think having money in the bank. Again, that's poor people. That's how I used to think. Rich people have loads of money in the bank. Rich people have nothing in the bank. Okay, that's what poor people do. That's what I used to do, try and save money in the bank. Okay, rich people own assets, and if assets are hyperinflating, they're running away from you. Okay, and this is why the youth of today are screwed. Okay, the 20-year-olds, the 30-year-olds, people who aren't on the property ladder. Okay, because all this stuff is running away from them. And it's only going to get worse. There'll be swings and little drops and that, but the trend is this way. The value of your money is going down, and the price of your assets are going straight up. Okay, but you do have a unique opportunity if you're young and paying attention. You can notice that there is the emergence of a new asset class. Okay, there is the emergence of a new asset class, and most old people and rich people don't own it. And this is why it's a wealth transfer. And this is why the wealth is moving from those who understand Bitcoin, from those who don't understand Bitcoin, to those who do and own the thing. And that's not going to change, and we can go into the whys of that in a lot more detail. If you want me to, you can let me know in the comments. But that's enough on that. Daniel's upped his Bitcoin allocation by 150%, so that's good. I'd be, if I was young, I'd tell you what I'd be doing. And I'll actually tell you the story here. There's a guy I know, a very successful entrepreneur, a very wealthy man, has a high net worth, and a good friend of mine. He's selling everything. I rang him there about 3 weeks ago over Christmas, 2 weeks ago, over the Christmas period, and he was driving across the country. I says, what are you doing? He says, I'm selling scrap. Now, this man is worth a few quid, but he was driving across the country to get a couple of £100 for some bit of scrap, as he called it, that was lying in his yard. Why? See, it's like, I can exchange them for Satoshis. People don't realise they've scrap around the house, they've loads of things that they can get rid of and own more Satoshis. Satoshis are the smallest unit of Bitcoin. And I guess that's why this guy is so successful, because he might be fully deployed into Bitcoin, but he's looking around his garden going, what scrap have I got that someone will give me euros for, that I can get more asset before people figure out what this thing is. It's beautiful. It's not luck that successful people are successful. It's by the habits and the things they do. Guys, let's just have a little bit of daily exercise. If you're new here, what we ask you to do is, you stretch the index finger, okay, and you approach the like button. Give it a little press there. Go on. Do it for the algorithm. The algorithm. Hard word to say. Do it for the algorithm. It's good for it though. And what it'll do is, it'll prompt your social media to show you more content, okay? That will help you retire early, because that's what this is. This fits the niche. So if you want to absorb more of this content, you enjoy this content, hit the like button. Is every day the best day to buy Bitcoin? Gabrielle's asking. I would say, let me press that and see what happens. Oh yeah. I don't buy Bitcoin every single day. I think you're better off to do it weekly or monthly. It depends how you're buying it. If you're buying it on exchange or something, maybe you can buy it every day. But because of the UTXOs, we found out that lesson, that if you're buying on a hardware wallet and you're doing that every single day, you run up all these UTXOs that in the future might actually cost you a massive portion of your Bitcoin to move them. Okay, UTXOs are unspent transactions. So if you're doing it on exchange, you can DCA daily, which is dollar cost averaging, which just means buying every day. Or weekly, and me personally, I sort of bounce between weekly and monthly. Thanks, Gabrielle. Let's scroll up here. I'll try and get some of the Facebook questions if there are any. Which one is Facebook? That one. Oh no, I'm on Facebook, am I? I don't know which phone is which. Maybe there's no Instagram questions. Someone hit the like there on Instagram so I know which one is which. I can't remember now. Janie Mac, very unprofessional here, aren't we? How do we ever get this far, lads? Hopefully it's all. Oh, I forgot about this, the last time. Okay. I've read the Bitcoin Standard, listen like Sailor. A lot. What is the end goal for most people? Is it to get to a certain price, then sell it, or hold it for life? That's a good question there. When most people think of owning Bitcoin, especially when people come into crypto, it's just, I want to buy some shitcoin, I want to go up with loads of value, and then I'm going to sell it for euros, I'm going to put the euros in my bank account. Because I'm a poor person and I think rich people have money in the bank, and I want that, so that's what I want to happen to me. This is Facebook. Thanks, David. No, Greg. No, I had a few questions coming in on Facebook there. Good stuff. A few years down the back there didn't do your daily exercise. Because I see all the names that come up on the likes, and I can see all the names that are watching. And if you're a bit lazy, it's the 2nd of January. If you've given up on your exercise routine already, there's no hope for you. See them guns. Look at them beauties. Look at them beauties. That's what liking videos gets you. Okay? So the end goal, so when we think we're going to come into the space, we're just going to buy it, it's going to go up, and we're going to sell it back for euros. And that's how I would have thought years ago. And I don't think like that now at all, because remember what I said earlier, guys. Rich people own assets, they don't own money. Okay? So Bitcoin is a property. It's the best piece of property in the world. The world just doesn't realize that yet. That doesn't mean that it's not the best piece of property. It just means I've got an asymmetric edge because I have information that the world doesn't have yet. So it puts me at a huge advantage. And this is basically what all trades are, all investments are. You've just got to get the information before everybody else, and then you position your chips accordingly and you get rich. And that's literally how it works. Okay? So Bitcoin is the best piece of property in the world. That would mean if I own some of the best piece of property in the world, I don't want to ever give that property up. Okay? You're going to have to pry it out of my hands, because if I'm giving up the property, I have to be giving it up for something that's more valuable to me. Okay? So therefore, I wouldn't just sell Bitcoin to put euros in the bank, because I'm selling an asset that's going up in value over time, Bitcoin, and I'm swapping it for an asset that's going down in value. Guaranteed, every 10 years, your euro loses 50% of its value. Okay? And that may accelerate over the next 10 years. Who knows? The place is a mess. We're in loads of debt. Okay? But best case scenario, you lose 50% of your wealth every 10 years by holding it in the euro. And you're fooled because it happens through inflation and currency debasement. So you still have the nominal euro. You know, if you had 100 grand, you still have 100 grand, but it just buys you half as much stuff. So I wouldn't swap the pristine asset for a bad asset, because that's just a bad investment decision. However, if I needed money and I wanted to go on a family holiday and take my family on a round the world trip, and I had my investment in Bitcoin, I might sell some Bitcoin to fund that if I couldn't afford it through other means, or through other assets, inferior assets if I owned them. Okay, so I might sell down a portion of it. Or if I had a mortgage that I wanted to clear, then I might sell down some Bitcoin for that, because that's making a real world difference to me. But I wouldn't just wait till it goes to a number to sell it, to put euros in the bank. What do you do with the euros then? You've got a problem. Your euros are going down in value. You've got to invest them in something. Okay, you look around. What am I going to invest in? Gold? That's shit. Stocks? There's only like 3 or 4 of them that are beating inflation, and they're bloated as hell now, so maybe they fall to bits, maybe they get nationalised. You know, okay, so what else? Maybe AI screws them up. Okay, right, so I can't do stocks. What about bonds? Bonds don't beat inflation. They haven't in years. Only idiots buy bonds, same people that buy gold. And don't worry, I was stupid like that once. I owned them all. Oh yes, but we learn. Okay, so what else do you buy? Oh, I'll buy investment property. Right, okay, grand. Okay, so digital music's being invented, and you're going looking for a CD shop and wondering why there's not many of them on the street anymore. It's just dumb. Like, physical property won't keep up with digital property, just like physical music doesn't keep up with digital music. Oh, I must have had a problem there on the YouTube, because she crashed on me. But it just doesn't keep up, guys. So the goal is to create an investment thesis, strategy and plan so that you know what you're doing, why you're doing it, when you're doing it. So you're not just like a candle in the wind trying to trade and buy back in and basically destroy all their wealth, which is how people do it if they don't have plans and strategies. That's why I have a job. That's why I have a business, because we help people to do this and create this. Am I done with you, or am I done for you? We literally build out people's strategy and plan so that they know their plan for the next 10 years. They know they're in, they know they're out. And they don't have to use their emotions. So it's a good question, okay? And there's no right answer. But for me, I'd be trying to keep that property forever. I'd be leveraging it, okay? I'd borrow against it. I'd refinance it every 5 years. That's what I intend to do. Maybe I'd earn a yield off some. Because there's ways that you can earn money off your Bitcoin that you don't even know about yet because they haven't been invented yet. Just like in the early, we're at Internet 97. That's where adoption is. Internet 97. In 1997, if you're trying to figure out everything the Internet could do and would do, you wouldn't have had a clue. Why? Because none of that stuff was invented. It took 5-10 more years before entrepreneurs built it and made the internet more valuable. Now the irony is, this is just another layer in the internet, the missing layer, the monetary layer. Okay? You get to own. It's basically like buying the internet. Okay? Because not only is Bitcoin an asset, but you also buy the network. Okay? You buy the asset and you own the network. And that means that right now while I'm chatting to you guys, there's entrepreneurs all over the world working on the network, on the asset, to make it more valuable. Okay? If I have a fucking house out there, okay, or of a unit up there that people rent off me, okay, there's no one working to make that better. They're working against me. There's lads building units at the minute. It's going to be harder for me to find tenants. There's lads trying to undercut me on price. There's no one out there working for free to make my investment property work more and more valuable. There's not, okay? But there is when you own a digital asset. Is there any downside to buying Bitcoin straight from Ledger? Lewis. Yes, I mentioned that there a second ago. There's things called unspent transactions, UTCs, unspent transaction, UTXOs. Jesus, that's brain's muddled. You wouldn't believe the work I was doing today. I'm so busy, and I've been busier than I've ever been in my life, and I love it. I love the buzz, but I know there's no point in going to bed for hours. So I says, come on with the live. But the UTXOs, Lewis, okay, if you're buying small amounts of Bitcoin, like a tenner a day, and getting it straight in the ledger, you're running up these things called UTXOs, and it could cost you, in 5 years' time, it could cost you more than the value of them to get them off it. So they're going to be stuck. Now, there is a way of cleaning them up. You can go onto YouTube and learn how to do that. But just watch out for that. Some people think DCA is the way to go, really tiny DCAs. But if you're doing it straight onto a hardware wallet, it's the UTXOs will actually shoot you in the head. So be careful with that. Let's see there now. The Dan lad is on. Let's see if he's still on. We'll give a wave to him. If there's 19.5 million in circulation, will the next halving make it soar previously? Yeah, so hands up here if you maybe put in the comments if you don't know what the halving is, and I'll explain that. Otherwise, I'll assume we all know what the halving is. But this will be Bitcoin's fourth halving. Every previous one, the price went up a lot. Okay, so the way Bitcoin works is it halves. 6 months later, the price goes up a lot. Then it has a correction, and then it chops along for 3.5 years. Then it has a halving, and it goes up a lot. Then it corrects a bit, and then it chops along, and then it goes up a lot. Then it corrects a bit, and then it chops along, and then we're just starting our uptick again. So that's been Bitcoin literally since it started. But if you notice, my pen started here and it finished here. So this is monetizing. It's going up. This is I think if you actually understand Bitcoin, you realize it's been in a 15-year bull market. Okay, with volatility. The volatility you would expect with an asset going from zero. Zero is what it started at. Okay? And now one Bitcoin is trading at whatever it is, $45,000. Okay? Volatility. Volatility is what makes you wealthy. So, how the halving works is, I'm the only place on the planet where you can buy Bitcoin. Excuse me. Alright, stay with me now. So I'm the only miner on the planet, so you have to buy your Bitcoin off Dinny. At the moment, there's one Bitcoin, okay? You have to imagine these. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 Bitcoin here in the shop, on the shelf. Okay? And every 10 minutes I have 6 product on the shelf. That's it. There could be no more. It's not like gold where you can mine more. It's not like iPhones where you can build more. It's not like any single other thing on the planet. Okay? It's not like Ethereum where you can change the monetary policy. Or every other crypto where you can just issue tokens for yourself for free. This is Bitcoin. This is different. You know, you've read all the books. You understand this. And if you don't, listen up. Okay? So I have 6 Bitcoins in front of me here. 6 lads come into my office, into my exchange. And they buy all 6 of them. Boom, boom, boom. Out the door they go. Happy days. 10 minutes later, I have 6 products on the shelf. 6 lads come in. They buy the products. They leave. Happy days. The price stays as we are. Just provided no one who owns Bitcoin decides to sell any, the price just stays flat. Supply and demand are equal, and the price stays the same. A date is coming, okay, in April next year, where Bitcoin's supply halves, which meaning the amount of Bitcoin that's issued to miners is cut in half. This happens every 4 years, every 210,000 blocks, which equates to about 4 years. Okay, this happens. In 2020, there was 12 Bitcoins mined every 10 minutes. It cut to 6. It caused the price to go up. All right, and you're going to figure this out for yourself. I'm not going to need to tell you this. Okay, but in April next year, just happens on a date. Instead of me having 6 Bitcoins for sale, 1, 2, 3. I only have 3 Bitcoins for sale. So if the demand remains constant, which it isn't, okay, the demand's going up, people. But if the demand was just to remain the same, all right, I have a problem because I have 6 people now in my office looking at 3 Bitcoins. And remember, if it was iPhones, Apple would make more. If it was gold, they'd dig deeper. Okay? If it was any other good or service or commodity or asset on the planet, that's the free market saying, make more. And entrepreneurs would do what they do. They would make more, create more, dig deeper, find it, and innovate. And what would that do? That would increase the supply. But because Bitcoin is the first scarcity that you've ever witnessed in your life other than your time, your human time is scarce and your Bitcoin is scarce and everything else, nothing else is scarce. Okay? Both of those things are finite. Nobody can make more of them. So there's a problem. I have 6 people looking at 3 Bitcoins. How do we solve the problem? If we can't create more, if we can't increase the supply, if there's no way of increasing the supply, how do we solve the problem? The free market solves it with economics. 3 of the lads have done their work and they go, holy shit, a Bitcoin. I'm going to hold that for eternity. That's 1 of 21 million that will only ever exist in the world. And 2 of the lads will nod their head and go, yeah, you're right. And the other 3 will go, I might buy a house instead. I'll get a little 3-bed semi. Sure, there can't be that many of them on the world, is there? All right. So 3 lads up the ante and they say, I'll bid 50 grand for that Bitcoin. And up the price goes to 50 grand. And it's solved. 10 minutes later, I've only 3 on the shelf. 6 people walk in. Okay. But not only 6. The other 3 who didn't get their Bitcoin are in for another look. And guess who came along for the ride? Well, there's another 10 people who heard, the price of that thing went up 10% there? In an hour, in a day, in a week, in a minute. Okay? Because the price action sucks people in. It's like Bitcoin's inbuilt marketing system. Because humans are greedy. Okay? And they fear missing out. And they will miss out. So the price goes up. So this is how the halving works. The supply is cut in half. So the price has to readjust because of the additional scarcity. Because the scarcity of everything determines its value. Your time is the most valuable thing you own. When it's over, that will be the most significant moment in your life, I suppose, because it'll be when your life ends. And that's because your time is finite, your time is scarce. And every 4 years, Bitcoin's programmed to get scarcer and scarcer. Okay, and let's look at the other side of the trade. So that's the supply. We know the supply is going down every 4 years, gets cut in half. Like, it's insane. Okay? What's the demand side like? Is the demand decreasing? Oh, yeah. No, the demand is increasing. Come on, people. When have humans ever moved away from that technology? We only move towards it. Okay? You think your kids are going to carry around notes in their wallet? You think they're even going to have a wallet? You know they're not. Okay? If you've got younger kids now, they'll never hold a wallet. They'll never carry a wallet. It might be called a wallet, but not the leather thing we'd have, or the purse thing we'd have with the cards in it. That won't exist, okay? Why? Because everything's going digital. We're only moving into digital. And in a couple of days' time, it looks likely, the analysts have it at 90% that BlackRock, the largest asset manager on the planet, is going to issue a spot Bitcoin ETF, and there's 12 other applicants. Okay, that's basically Wall Street going, holy crap, we want in and we are going to sell the shit out of this thing. Why? Because we love getting rich and we get paid on fees. And what's the highest performing thing in the world? It's Bitcoin. So we're going to sell Bitcoin to all our clients. All right. So demand is going up. Supply is going down. You don't have to be a genius to figure out where this thing is going in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 100 years. Okay. Michael Saylor says, you know, when a news reporter asked him, and I replied to someone's comment there earlier, just joking in it, but he says, like, Bitcoin's going up forever, Laura. Because it is. When you understand that the value of anything is dictated by its demand and its supply. Bitcoin is the first thing where the supply of it, okay, cannot be influenced by the demand. So as the demand goes up, the supply can't move. And that is why the price of Bitcoin goes up forever. Sweet! Gary's asking me, can you split? Yeah, Gary, you can just transfer from one ledger to another. On the ledger you want to receive, click on receive, generate the address, and on the ledger you want to send to, paste the address. Just do a test transaction before you send a massive lump, in case you screw up somehow. What's the Donald lad saying? Hold on, now we just scroll down here. Guys, let me know what you like there if you're getting value, or even throw in the comments if you enjoy the ramblings. And feel free to ask me about crypto. Happy New Year, Dinny. Happy New Year, James. Have you used CoinPass Exchange? Is that the Aussie one? A good few of my Australian clients. It's something like that in Australia. Is it called CoinPass? But I've never used it, but I've helped clients to use it. This is Facebook. Yes, David. Will BlackRock buy a lot of Bitcoin? Analysts are predicting that BlackRock need to buy 1 million Bitcoin. Now, if BlackRock buy 1 million Bitcoin, most of you people watching this, there'll be none left for you. Okay. Last year, in the last bull market, when Bitcoin performed so well, there was literally one person buying it, Michael Saylor. There was literally one big entity caused the majority of that bull run. And he was a nothing burger compared to what BlackRock, Fidelity, and all these huge giants combined. That's why this is scary. That's why, like, there's going to be days when Bitcoin goes up 10 grand. Like, I don't know, is it this year, next year, 2 years, 5 years? All right, there's going to be days Bitcoin goes up 10 grand. And what people aren't ready for at all is there'll be days or weeks when Bitcoin goes up 100,000. Okay, keep watching. All right, just basic maths. That's all it is. If you study the thing and you're able to do like really basic maths, you will realize it. Is there any? Yeah, I thought I said that, Lewis. Sorry. It's hard to get the questions here. I don't know what the halving is. Oh yeah, you should now, Derek. It is this year. Hi, Teresa. Teresa sent you a message. Looking forward to meeting you. I sent you my calendar, so we'll be chatting soon. If I send my Bitcoin to an address, say I pay for goods, do I have to pay tax on the profit? Yes, like Bitcoin isn't a currency. You've got euros or dollars or sterling or whatever currency you use. Treat Bitcoin as an asset. I wouldn't be paying for that in Bitcoin. Like, pay for stuff in euros. Euros lose their value, they hemorrhage value. Why the hell would you spend Bitcoin? And you do create taxable events, and you create a taxable nightmare for yourself. Bitcoin is a great asset because you can carry it tax-free, meaning you don't get taxed till you exit it. Okay? If you happen to be in a taxable jurisdiction. The amazing thing about Bitcoin is you may choose to leave. And I know a lot of people who have done that, who they make a lot of wealth in Bitcoin and they go, well, you know, there's tax on Bitcoin here in this country, but I might go to a country where there's no tax on it because I can. But you can't do that with any other asset. Can't do that with gold, can't do it with cash, can't do it with property, can't do it with classic cars, can't do it with stocks, can't do it with bonds, can with Bitcoin. Okay, and that's why it's, don't think rich people aren't going to figure this out. You know, they're the ones that pay no tax. They're the ones that have everything in trusts and all this stuff. You know, it's only normal people like us who pay all the tax. All right, don't think they're not figuring this out. They are. Sorry, I'm just trying to scroll up. What is a multi-sig wallet and what are the advantages compared to a normal wallet? You don't do Instagram. I'll try and load it up on Instagram, Gabrielle. I had Instagram going there, but it crashed on me. So a multi-sig wallet, for people who aren't sure, there's 3 places where you can hold your crypto. Okay, you can hold it on an exchange, you can hold it with a custodian, okay, or you can hold it, I suppose there's loads of places, but we'll try and keep it simple enough. You can hold it on exchange, you can hold it with a custodian, you can hold it in a hardware wallet, okay, which would also be called a cold wallet because it's not connected to the internet, or you can hold it on a hot wallet, okay. So we'll say there's 4 places to keep it simple-ish. An exchange is the worst place. Why? Because exchanges go out of business every single bull run. Why wouldn't they? Like most businesses, being in business is really, really difficult. I've been in business all my life. My first business was when I was 8 years of age, collecting golf balls. Okay, but it's really hard. Like most businesses fail. And that's in normal environments. Think of a crypto environment. You have this insane bull market for maybe 10 months, maybe 18 months max with the run up. And then you have this insane deep bear market. So suddenly, for a couple of months, you're getting more customers and you're hiring people as fast as you can. You're trying to raise VC money to buy more builds and expand offices and everything. And then out of nowhere, you get this massive bear market where no one wants your product. You've no money to pay your staff. You have way too many staff. It's a really difficult environment for these companies. So guess what? They go out of business. When? Every single cycle. Doesn't matter what size they are. No. Like the last cycle there, we lost Celsius. They were huge. We lost FTX. They were the 2nd biggest company in the space. And we lost Voyager. And we lost BlockFi. You know, these were huge companies. They're all bankrupt now. Okay. So an exchange is a really bad place to hold your Bitcoin or your crypto. That's what most people do when they start, though. They leave it on exchanges. And that's why most people don't retire early doing this stuff, because that implodes. Or their exchange account gets hacked and they lose the coins that way. Okay, then there's with a custodian, and a custodian is basically, I'm not going to go through a custodian actually, we'll skip to the wallets because that was the question and I'm too long on the answers here. A hot wallet is a wallet you can download for free on the internet. You get what the Bitcoin only one would be like Blue Wallet or Wallet of Satoshi or Moon, M-U-U-N. You can download them for free, and that's certainly a Bitcoin wallet, okay? And then a hardware wallet, you could get like a cold card or a ledger or a Trezor, and these are like an actual, like a little USB key, okay? Now multi-sig, when you have the key, people always think this is the safest way to hold your Bitcoin is on your key, but the problem is the risk then transfers from the counterparties like the exchanges or the custodians. Okay, the risk moves from them all to you. And most people, they don't invest in education. They don't do any education themselves. They think they'll learn along the way. They don't realize that when you make a mistake, it's really, really costly in Bitcoin. It's not like dealing with euros where you just ring up the bank and go, oh yeah, some lad on eBay there, he never sent me the thing I bought. Will you just give me the money back? And they're like, yes, we can. It doesn't work like that in Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a bearer instrument, okay? And that's the difference. Everything else, your other financial world, that's all just debt. So it's made up money. It doesn't exist. That's why they can do shenanigans with it. Okay, but Bitcoin's actual real collateral, so that there's no way back. So there's responsibility, okay, which is fantastic. Some of us like having responsibility, and we want responsibility for ourselves. We don't want to be told what to do too much. You know what I mean? We don't want to be told what to eat because that was all the wrong information, or what medicine to take because that was all the wrong information. Okay, we want to look after ourselves. We think we are self-sufficient enough and responsible enough. And Bitcoin allows you to take responsibility for your own money, okay, which is fantastic. But the risk transfers to you. Now, with a single sig wallet, like a hardware wallet, it's a single point of failure. So if anything happens in that wallet, you lose everything. Or if you go and die and no one knows your password, you probably lose everything. Okay, or if you drop it down the toilet, you lose everything. Or if your kid accidentally plays with it and breaks it, you might lose everything. That's pretty risky. I don't want to have my whole fucking... You don't lose your investment property if you leave your child unattended for 20 minutes. You don't lose your apartment block. So same with this space. Multi-sig means there's multiple signatures controlling your asset. Okay? And that's the best way to have it, especially if you want it for the long term. You don't want it to be easy to move. You want it to be difficult. You can have multi-sig with jurisdictional arbitrage. That's what I have. So they're in different countries. So it's literally, it takes a long time to move any. Okay? And that gives you ultimate security. And most people won't need that level of security, but I'm quite public about talking about Bitcoin, so people probably assume I own loads of Bitcoins. I wish I did, but I stack every month. But either way, I want to have it. I want to have what I own very secure, and that's why I use a multi-sig across 3 different countries. And it just means that something can happen to any individual. I can screw up my wallet, I can break it, a rat can eat it, a house can burn down. You don't lose the Bitcoin, and that's the beauty of a multi-sig setup. If anyone owns, if you're in control of 2 or more Bitcoin, get in contact with me, and I can go through everything that you need to do and show you how you can secure them on a multi-sig setup, and I can actually do it for free with you. But you have to have 2 Bitcoins or more. Soon I'll be saying if anyone has half a Bitcoin, because the price is going to keep going up. But at the moment, that's what we can offer with that. Okay. Do you know if we can get our money coins back from the Bittrex scam? I don't. I don't, Donald. No, sorry. It's very difficult. But I think in time those coins might get marked. And like large crimes done in Bitcoin are very easy to track. The FBI love when people do crimes with Bitcoin, but petty crime or small crime, you know, you scam 10 grand or 20 grand or 50 grand out someone's pension and that. They don't really have too much interest in that at the moment, but hopefully it'll get better and maybe people will have some hope in the future. But the key is, I know it's too late now, but don't get scammed. That's why I'm on here every day, trying to talk to you and educate you a little bit, so that so you stay safe. Don't give your money away. Seeing your streams on Facebook got me into Bitcoin. DCAing every month. Before COVID, I lost 9% on a shitcoin at the top of the last cycle. Darren, good man. It's wisdom, it's courage to have a big mistake, dust yourself off, see where you went wrong, and start taking relentless action again. And over my lifetime, certainly in business, I've had atrocities happen. I've had terrible things happen where, you know, and none of it. Some of it might have been my fault, but you know, the instance that springs to mind was not my fault at all. I got totally shafted, and I literally lost the business overnight. And it would have been very easy just to call it a day and go, oh, well, I tried so hard and they stole all that on me and blah blah blah. He's a criminal. But it's our mistakes, are the stresses that we need to build ourselves into the person we have to become. So fair play to you, man. Sounds like you're on the right track now. Lovely stuff. Any more questions there? I think I've got through them all now. Hope you had a bit of crack this evening. What time is it? It's nearly 11:30. Probably better let you go to bed. Off to bed, just go. Happy New Year, Jer. I'm just going to check this, see if I got through all the questions. Happy New Year, James. One new comment. Can you recommend a hot wallet? Blue Wallet, or Wallet of Satoshi, or Moon, M-U-U-N. M-U-U-N. I tell you what, we'll do this for the crack since you're still on the stream. Oh no, I can't do it actually. I was going to give you some Bitcoin, but I can't because it's on my phone there. But literally, you could go and download Moon Wallet, and in about 30 seconds, you post a Bitcoin address in the comments of this video, and if I had a phone in my hand, I could literally send you Bitcoin right now. And some people have to see that and go, hold on, how did that happen? You mean I downloaded this thing off the internet, 10 seconds later I got money sent to me, no one in the middle? How does this thing work? How can this thing be stopped? It can't. But I don't use it as a currency. We might in the future. We probably will in the future. But at the moment, it's an asset. You don't use it as a currency because it's not treated. It's treated the tax law the way Bitcoin is now means in Ireland, use your euros. They hemorrhage value. Get rid of them. Buy your shit with euros. Save in Bitcoin. That's what I do. It's worked out pretty well. I think that's going to continue. Nothing that you want here is financial advice because I'm not a financial advisor. All right, I'm just an entrepreneur. Just having the crack juice. Are the updates safe on Ledger? I wouldn't update my wallet straight away whenever there's an update. I always wait a while, give it a month or two, and then I'll do an update. How can we use Bitcoin as a passive income, David? You can't use Bitcoin at the moment as a passive income. Well, you can if you own a lot of Bitcoin. You could give it to the likes of Nexo, and they'll pay a yield every month for giving them the collateral. What I would say to you is you will be able to live off the passive income on your Bitcoin, but it's going to take a few years, okay? In a couple of years, the likes of BlackRock will pay you for your collateral, okay? And it'd be less risky to use a BlackRock than using a Nexo, because Nexo are only a new company. But at the moment, although you can, my advice to all our clients is don't do it. Why? Because it's not worth the risk. You know, you could have earning a yield on FTX or on Celsius or on BlockFi. And we used them. But it didn't work out too well in the long term because they're all bankrupt now. So although we're getting paid 6%, if you lost 100% of your collateral, it wasn't worth it, okay? So I would say let the space mature, let the space get regulation, let the bigger, more trusted players come in, and then use your collateral. But like the collateral that you own, if Bitcoin is what I believe it is, I think it is, well then it's the most pristine collateral on the planet, and people will be throwing money at you to get their hands on it. And if you guys want to watch a good podcast, Peter Dunworth, who I now work with in the Bitcoin Advisor, he manages high net worth family wealth, okay? I can't remember, is it $1 billion he has under management or a couple of billion, but serious money for seriously wealthy people, okay? So this guy knows finance, he's worked on it all his life. Peter reckons in the future the banks are going to pay you to take out a loan against your Bitcoin. Okay, so it's not like you get a loan and you pay them back, because they're going to be able to re-hypothecate the Bitcoin. And that's what banks can do, you know, for every euro that comes in, they're able to loan it out so many times. Okay, so that one Bitcoin, they'll be able to make so much money off it that they will pay you to give them the collateral. Sounds crazy. Kind of is. But if you listen to the podcast, it does make a bit of sense. And so check that out on my YouTube channel, Bitcoin With Dinny, Peter Dunworth. That was actually my most popular podcast of 2023. Very smart man. Obviously he would be if he's managing the money of very wealthy people. Peter Dunworth, Dunworth, I think. I always add an S. I call him Peter Dunsworth, but it's Dunworth. He's a really sound guy. Trust Wallet comes up as a great hot wallet. I only have a cold wallet, but like hot wallet too. Have you used hot wallet or opinion? I believe it is owned by Binance, but still separate. Yeah, I have Trust Wallet. I don't know what's on it. It's on my phone though. It's probably something in it. I haven't actually used it in a long time, but I did use it before, yeah. Yeah, use a broker, Joe, because they pay network fees. And you get more Bitcoin for your money, and you're not buying on Binance, which is, they've no headquarters, they've no helpline, they've no phone number, you've no one to talk to if something goes wrong. So I would advise a broker. All right, we're drying up. It's been a good evening. It's where's the cheapest place to buy? All right, we'll finish on that question. Don't know. Cheapest place to buy Bitcoin is wherever you can get it. Okay. for you guys, I want you to try and shift your mindset from the scarcity, poverty mindset, because it holds you back so fucking much. You have no idea, because it did to me. Okay? And I'm not saying you're a penny pincher, because everyone wants to get the good deal and everything, alright? But my dad always taught me that quality isn't expensive, it's priceless. Okay? The cheapest place you can get Bitcoin is wherever you can get it, where it's trustworthy. Okay? For me, that's always been by going through a broker. Okay? And you guys know I recommend Caleb and Brown. We have our discount link. I've shared that many times. I'll throw it in the comments here when I'm done. I used to pay them 7%. But you see, it doesn't matter. Because Bitcoin's going up 100% every year. So if I pay 2% more or 1% more than getting it on some North Korean new exchange that just popped up or offering me Bitcoin for whatever the fee, but I lose all my money, well, it's just dumb. Why would you take the risk on the highest performing asset? You don't need to get it the cheapest. You just need to get it. And you need to stack it every week and every month. Our mindset really needs to change. Okay? And I want you guys to be successful and girls to be successful. But your mindset has to shift from scarcity to abundance. There's so much opportunity. You don't need to pinch pennies. You do need to invest in, as I said, quality isn't expensive, it's priceless. Find good places. Like, I don't use Binance. Why? Because they've no phone number and things goes wrong. They've no headquarters. Their CEO had to fucking resign. I might be going to jail. Like, why the fuck would I put my money into that thing? To me, you're going to be dumb. But, that's just me. It's just like, why would someone do that? Well, it's the biggest exchange on the planet, so many people do that. But, it's a crazy world out there. So, you can't go wrong with a Coinbase. Coinbase is the most regulated exchange on the planet, I think. And saying you can't go wrong, maybe you can, I don't know. That's why I don't leave any money on an exchange. I just buy it and remove the assets. Okay, and get them into cold storage on a multi-sig with jurisdictional arbitrage. Get on with my life, come here and talk to you people. Okay, so use trustworthy exchanges is all I'll say. Ones with the phone numbers, ones that you know where the actual head office is. And it doesn't matter if it's, 0.5% cheaper somewhere else, that you might get zero of your money. Like, the reason I get annoyed over this, or, I get pissed off, is because, like, even today I'm dealing with a fella there, and he's after losing 100 grand. And maybe he has it to lose, I don't know, because I'm come from someone who never had money and, knows the stress of that. So when people send me that they've lost money, I always feel like, Jesus, that he must be so depressed. Maybe he's not, because I haven't spoken to him much. But he's after losing 100 grand by having that mindset. The mindset of, I'll learn myself. The mindset of, there's a fella going to do it for me. That'll save me the bother. The mindset of, I'll get the cheapest place. It's just dumb. And every single day I deal with this. Thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. Every week in, week out. I get on here, I talk my shit, and I get annoyed. And it's why. So sorry for the rants, but all that shit is in my head. Because I've been going through my emails from Christmas, and loads of people have lost fucking loads of money. And it's going to continue in the bull market. Loads of you fuckers are going to lose money, because you're going to be dumb, and you'll learn a hard lesson. But guess what? Some of us have to touch the stove, and that's just the way it is. So Dinny, don't be shouting at your community. Hopefully with this rant, a lot of them will learn and you'll save them, or they'll just think you're an asshole. But it doesn't really matter. Guys, I've got to hop off here. It's been a good evening. Thanks for being here. Ronan, where can you buy non-KYC Bitcoin? Ronan, I'll give you a tip. Don't. Another one. I have a guy there. He has a couple of 100 grand in his bank account, now frozen. He'll be talking to Revenue. They'll be talking to him. Why? Because he bought non-KYC Bitcoin. He's no paper trail. What the hell do you think they're going to do? Alright? And when people think, oh, well, I'm not going to put the money in the bank, you can't just pull a Ferrari out of your arse. Okay? I think, like for me, I think non-KYC Bitcoin is stupid. Because the way the world is, you need a paper trail. Unless you're planning to go live off grid and move out of Ireland. I think you're better off. You're just creating problems for yourself in the future. Anyway, Dinny out. Let's get out of here, lads. Go to bed. Go to bed. Go to bed. See you later.